business coach for people who want to start their own business. They want to figure out their brand, what clients they want. It's really fulfilling to help people start a life that has more freedom and flexibility and is on their own terms. Primarily because you get to set your own schedule and you get to decide which projects you take and which way you like to work and how much you charge and who you interact with and when your working schedule actually is. I've done a lot of self-reflection and work with coaches over the years. And one of the things I've learned to do is to listen to the child voice that's still in me, who is always nagging me for things and saying, I want to have fun and I want to just not do anything today, or I want to go out exploring. And for the longest time, the adult voice in me was saying, be responsible, just show up, do what you're supposed to do. And you can't spend too much time having fun or taking care of yourself because that's not the way. And that was kind of ingrained into me from the way that I was brought up and having very controlling parents who were always pushing me and didn't advocate for downtime or just having fun. So I've learned to tap into that child voice and see what she needs, because if you're not careful, when you're a very driven person, you can end up pushing and pushing and pushing and burning out and not enjoying the flexibility and the freedom that you have. I never really knew anyone who had a more relaxed or slower pace of life. And so that is really what I absorbed, and that became normal for me. I would have a really hard time with people coming to me and saying, you look like you need a break. And I would find that strange because I was so used to always pushing and always feeling like I could do more, even if my body was saying, no, you can't. So it really took a lot of questioning and reflection on who am I and who do I want to be and what feels right to me. When you grow up in situations where you didn't really have the support or the love that you needed, you look for someone to rescue you. For the longest time, I was seeking that out. Someone's going to come along and tell me that I don't need to do as much anymore. Someone will give me permission to take a break or to stop or to rest. And it really never came because I wouldn't have allowed myself to do that anyway. And I think it was that realization that actually I'm parenting myself now, and I get to give myself permission to slow down, and that can be okay. And so it's, what do I want to feel on a daily basis? And looking at it through that lens, it makes it easier to have compassion for yourself and to treat yourself like a human being. I would always be telling myself that I'm not good enough, that I should do better, that no one will love me, no one will accept me. And I pushed myself really hard because of those things, and learning to see myself as a human who had emotions and it was okay to have emotions has been a real challenge. Having some kind of financial independence was a really important next step. I had always been in very codependent relationships. I had attached myself to men who would provide comfort and financial support and stability and safety. And I didn't feel like I could go out on my own and succeed in anything really without some kind of safety net there, especially financially. And so I had a period of time where I was not in a relationship, and I realized that I was neglecting myself. I wasn't allowing myself to feel or think or have my own opinions on things. And when I started to spend money on the things that I felt I should spend money on, things for me, that was another big turning point, because suddenly I didn't have to go to anyone for permission. I got to make those decisions. I think it was just recognizing that I'm responsible for me and I know what's best for me, and building that trust with myself to get to a point where I know that I can handle anything that comes my way. When I see people who need support in an area of their life and they're struggling, I really step up. That's just the kind of person that I am. So when I was starting to help people transition out of a 9-to-5 or a full-time role that they weren't happy in, where they were burning out and they didn't have the time for self-care, or they didn't have the flexibility to do what they needed to do, I felt this sense of responsibility. Like, if I'm not emulating what's possible for them, then how can they believe that is possible? So I walk the walk and talk the talk. in the sense that I show them what's possible. And my job as a coach is to be a visionary in that sense. So if I ever catch myself not wanting to treat myself in the same way that I tell people, I really question that because, I'm a human too, and I want all of those things. For example, I just went to California for 2 months and I brought my cat, and I had a pool and a patio, and I did a lot of my coaching sessions outside. And I also went to some networking events, and it was just really fun. And it was this combination of work and life and play, and it was incredible. But it took a lot for me to build up my mindset to a place where I felt okay with doing that, because I still had my condo and my car rental and everything to pay for in Toronto and this whole other life in San Diego. And it felt very excessive, and it felt very like, oh, what gives you the right to do this? But then I thought, well, if not me, then who? Who else is going to let that be okay? So it was challenging, but it was really good for me to push back against those voices and say, this is okay. Even though this might not feel comfortable, this is okay.